next up, we have the geniuses from Collings guitars.
Good word.
Some of the most beautiful instruments in the world are made by Collings. Some of the best sounding acoustic guitars.
Thank you very much.
I can't afford one personally.
Yes, you
but
can.
I love listening to them.
All our dealers take plastic, so it's easy for you.
So you brought one of your guitars with you today.
Yes.
Which is this part of the T series that I've been hearing about?
Yes.
Okay,
the guitar,
man. Here.
We go here. Yeah, this is one of our new T series guitars.
Hang on one second while we get ourselves organized here a little bit.
That's a good idea. I'm going to stand this up.
Hey, Tom, could you just take that? Yeah, thanks.
I'm going to stand between us here. There you go.
There we go.
Is that solid back there? Yeah.
That works.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, good. That's what they have editing for.
Haha. Here, let me. I can. Okay, you got it.
How's that? Yeah.
So, anyways, the Collings guitars have just been legendary forever for just really being among the most beautiful sounding acoustics ever. And what can you tell me about this new T series? It's a beautiful looking guitar.
Thank you very much. Yes, we've been building acoustic guitars for 40 years, and all kind of traditionally oriented guitars, based stuff on old guitars from the 30s and stuff. And a couple of years ago, Bill Collings was talking about, I think he's been playing more and listening more, and from his years in the 70s of repairing guitars and trying to make guitars that would hold up better than a lot of the guitars he worked on, put back together. He made guitars kind of strong and loud with this kind of Collings tone that we've been known for all these years, from kind of a crystalline, clear, loud. In the last couple of years, he's kind of wanted to bring out some more fundamental and the single note stuff, a little more of the mid-range, and so we decided on the traditional series, not only through appointments, aging toner, yellow pearl, a different herringbone, to use some lighter weight woods, lighter weight neck block, tail block, some thinner tops and lighter weight tops and backs and sides, extremely thin, 0.003 of an inch nitrocellulose lacquer finish, to change a little different fundamental in the tone.
So it's sort of an interesting thing, and I mean, I personally dig it in a way, is that when you look at the Collings guitars, there's nothing super fancy about them in terms of they're beautiful looking, but there's nothing super fancy about the inlays or anything, but they just sound great. It seems like you guys really just focus on getting the job done.
Well, that's what we've been known for a long time, is kind of a Collings tone and the fit and finish and the build quality. And yes, we can put fancy inlays and stuff on guitars, and we do that on some occasion, but the main focus for us has just been on the tone and the construction quality and stuff, and that's kind of got us through the last 40 years, and I'm sure will take us through the next 40.
So I've heard something about your cases.
Well,
and that's not something that people talk about all that much, is guitar cases. But when you think about it, you buy this nice expensive guitar, or you buy any kind of guitar, you want a really good home for it. What can you tell me about it?
That's kind of, Bill Collings is an engineer to the nth degree. He's from a family of engineers. And over the years, he just kind of kept wanting to, there we go, thank you very much. The lovely and talented Mr. Tom. He wanted to design a case that would befit the Collings guitar. He wanted a nice home for his guitar. So he worked for about five, almost 6 years on designing based on very vintage-inspired cases, molded plywood, nice lines. The hinges are thicker steel than most other hinges. They fit tighter so they won't wear as much. The latches, we found some latches made from old luggage latches from the 40s, had those tweaked and redesigned. There's nothing off the shelf on this case. You'll notice no stitching. We custom mold the foam for the neck rest pads to fit the neck rest. We had a custom handle made because this fits the shape so nice. You got a tighter radius in here. And we had to make a longer handle, so we own the tooling on the handle, which was thousands and thousands of dollars, welded inner core, so the D-rings don't come off. The D-rings are welded, nickel plated. The handle matches the fabric, even the lining on this where there's no stitching, the grain in the vinyl, even the grain on the vinyl for the lining, for the trim piece matches the grain on the case. We crushed the rayon velvet ourselves at the shop. No one would kind of take something like a case to this level, and to watch him kind of do this for 5 years, every piece that he would sweat over and how it was going to impact the whole case and keep it light, the balance right, and he wanted a nice garage for our Ferraris, basically.
You know, it's funny, it almost takes me back to one of my first guitars that I ever owned. I had a Gibson ES 330. It's a beautiful guitar. And I just remember, you just brought it back, I just remember how good the case was for it.
Well, we're
and
trying
I
to
think
bring,
that they used to make cases better, maybe.
Well, they've had to, cases are a functional accessory to a guitar. But when you look at some of the cases from when you're talking about that, we're trying to, I guess, not only bring sexy back in cases, but it's really, if you can flex the top on this thing, it's quite protective, even though it doesn't have 1.5 inches of padding. It's got the right density for the foam around the outside. It's stiff. It's just the ultimate case. No one else would kind of take it so far except Bill Collings.
Very cool. So Steve, in addition to the T-Series and the case, are there any other new guitars that you'd like to tell us about from Collings this year?
Sure. At the show this year, we have a new parlor guitar, which is the first time we've done something quite that small. It's based on, again, a 30s guitar. We have a baritone acoustic guitar we bought this year for the first ever, 27.5-inch baritone scale guitar. A baritone electric guitar. We have a new model in our Waterloo line of guitars, so you should come back down. You should come down to the booth and check them out in a minute.
I absolutely will come down to.
And speaking of 330s, we have something similar to that down there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I would be very curious to check that out.
Please do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Steve, for coming by and bringing the case and the
It's a pleasure.
guitars and
Thank you very much.
all that stuff and being our guest.
Anytime. Thank you, sir.
Okay.